Hey guys, SteemDRIce here for another cast for Sealcast, the Southeast Asian Esports League StarCraft 2 cast division. Today we've got, in the bottom left, AKTemujin spawning as the light blue Terran, and in the top right, XenomorphSPR spawning as the orange Zerg. Last time we had a little cast, the players weren't the best. They weren't what you'd call tip-top masters, but these ones, they're fairly good. I believe AKTemujin is in Grandmasters, and Xenomorph is a very good Masters player, I believe. That is what I've been informed, but we'll see. Going for a standard wall-off for the Terran player. Probably not gonna see any sort of cheese, gonna see any sort of Turax. Well, Turax isn't that bad on this map. There's a little, if they've got their overlord here, there's a little blind spot here that you can plant your deep bunker, but it's not what you'd call the greatest idea on the face of the planet. Temujin asking, are you in Grandmasters yet? And as Xenomorph saying, not yet, sad face. Not cool, man. Grandmasters so hard to get into. And Temujin's just patrolling an SCV here to delay a hatchery from Zerg player. Xenomorph scouting down. At this point, it's not likely to see a Turax given the gas and, you know, all this stuff going down, but you never know. Might see a delayed Turax at some point. Xenomorph running in with a drone, sees everything, sees the gas, knows it's likely not Turax coming up. Manages to get the hatchery down, but I believe that was slightly delayed. Yeah, spawning pool going down now for the Zerg player. Seeing the Overlord here in the middle. If we look at Xenomorph's vision, he can that Overlord gives him vision of that if Temujin decides to take down those rocks, and he can also see around here as well. It's a bit vulnerable sitting there in the middle, but you know, it's always a trade-off with Overlords. You get the scout information. Do you want to get the scouting information, or do you want to see, or do you want to keep them safe so they don't die when Marines roll out? Well, Marines rolling out here. Orbital command finished for the Terran player. And factory going down. So this might be siege play, this might be a Hellion play. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Hellions, but you also wouldn't be surprised if it was siege tanks. I mean, Hellions have been pretty popular right now, given Slayer's success with them at MLG lately. But that reactor is probably going to be switched with the factory for a double Hellion play. Expansion finished for Xenomorph and transferring drones now. Zergling coming up, building a queen, just droning heavily, building a roach warren. Interesting play. Don't generally see that many roaches against Terran in pro level games. You generally see more Ling Muta play, but that might be why you go for roaches, because no one expects it. Spreading creep now to connect the two bases. Yeah, not building that many Zerglings, just droning up pretty heavily for Xenomorph. Roach warren finishing. We're gonna see a roach on the way. Hellions popping out for Temujin. Command center on the way. So this is probably going to be a double hell. This is probably going to be a Hellion expand build for the Terran player. Just, you know, keeping his expos coming. And Xenomorph spreading his overlords so we can see what's going on here. He keeps an eye here. It's a very good play. Lets him know what's going on around the map. Temujin taking center control with these Hellions. Map control. Camping out at the Xel'Naga Tower. That creep tumor, spreading his creep, like any good Zerg player would, and building more roaches. 4 roaches now. Speed on the way, Zergling speed on the way. Excellent lava injects from Xenomorph. Look at the energy on those queens, it's so low. That one's 7, it's 25. And Hellions rolling in for the Terran player, roasting 3 workers before getting the hell out of there, and doesn't lose a single one. Pretty good attack for the Terran player. I mean, didn't do too much damage, but he also didn't lose any units, so it's basically free units. three drones. Well, not that much. Well, it's 3 drones. You take them. You take them when you got them, and didn't really damage those that much. Look at these overlord spread from Xenomorph. Keep an eye out on this expansion here, also this corridor here, in case a Terran player decides to go in for an attack around the back. But gonna run up and does not lose that Hellion. Good play from the Terran player. Speed is almost done. More gas extractors going down for the Zerg player. Laryngex slipping off a bit, but you know, has to deal with those Hellions and whatnot. So yeah, overall not bad play. Not bad play at all for the Zerg player. Baneling Nest going down. Stim being researched back home for the Terran player. Building Marines 5 at a time. Expansion is up and running. Repairing those Hellions to make sure that he can go harass at them again later on. Building a wall off here for the Terran player. It's, you know, throw another barracks here and then a depot here, and it's Zergling proof to make counterattacks. Oh, engineering bay works too, and another engineering bay here as well to prevent any sort of roll around backdoor entry from the Zerg player. +1 range attacks going down for Xenomorph, and Glial reconstitution, or there's a Roach speed upgrade going down as well. Moving out again to the map with these Hellions to take map control, and he's going to go right past these Zerglings and nothing. But either way, it's okay. These are only 6 Zerglings. They're not going to be able to do that much damage, and it's quite interesting. He leaves the reactor there to finish that wall off. Kills a couple of creep tumors, but he's going to have to turn around given all these roaches. More roaches in production, +1 range weapons on the way for the Terran player. Well, up here, fries those Zerglings. And Temujin's just looking in a fairly good position now. He's got his 3rd command center on the way, and there's no 3rd up yet for the Zerg player, but he's building 9 roaches, going up to 13. 13 roaches in production. Baneling speed on the way. We're probably going to see a timing attack when the +1 missile attacks finishes, and I don't know, it doesn't seem that good of an... I mean, there's nothing that's particularly good against roaches right now, but we've got two siege tanks on the way, and siege mode is almost done, so siege mode's going to be done in time for this attack, and there just doesn't seem to be enough stuff here to just break through. But then against 16 Zerglings, we'll see. It could work, but if he doesn't do a lot of damage, then he'll be severely behind, because the 3rd will have finished for the Terran player, and the Zerg player basically needs to get way ahead with this attack, or else it really won't work. And here we go. He's moving out now onto the center of the map. Temujin has no idea that this is coming. He hasn't even he's seen roaches, but he hasn't seen the Baneling's nest, and he's rolling out. He sees it. He knows. He sees the roaches, and he's gonna losing all the Hellions, or a majority of the Hellions, and the rest of them are severely damaged. And here roll in the Banelings. Roaches coming in. Seeing a lot of damage being dealt from these roaches, attacking the command center. These 2 siege tanks in the back doing a lot of damage, but they're being taken out by the roaches, and these Marines are being completely annihilated, stimming up, but it's not going to be enough. Takes out that siege tank, and he's going to roll in and take out a lot of SCVs. Siege tank there, going to clean up the rest of those roaches, but more roaches roll in from the Zerg player, going to take out a lot of SCVs, doing a lot of damage here, and he may have just won the game. There's a lot of damage being dealt. Lifts off. We look at the units lost tab. 14 workers killed by the Zerg player, and taking out these supply depots right now. There's just not a lot that the Terran player can do. Marines rolling in, killing a Zergling, but it might be too little too late. More Zerglings rolling in from the Zerg player, and there's just not that much of the Terran player. He's got 3 tanks, 17 Marines, and a Hellion. That's a lot of roaches. 20 roaches. More Banelings being morphed and taking out that engineering bay. Picking up Marines for a drop, possibly. 3rd going down now for the Zerg player. This has worked brilliantly. Takes out a Baneling, takes out another Baneling, but he's gonna lose his Marines! Zerg player going for it, deciding now is the time. Rolling up, takes out a siege tank, takes out another siege tank. It's a lot of damage being dealt now by these roaches. And it's gonna be close, but the siege tanks repel the attack. And now he rolls back. The Terran player still can't reclaim his natural though. It's dropped here, but he's gonna take out 1 drone, 2 drones, 3 drones, 4 drones, 5 drones, 6 drones taken out by the Terran player. Is he gonna take out the natural? That's doing a lot of damage. Roaches rolling in, takes out the Marines, and he lifts up and goes home. But these roaches and Zerglings here are preventing AKTemujin from taking back his natural expansion. Hellion rolling up, gets annihilated. Going to take out some more Marines, and that siege tank. We're not sure if this is gonna do enough damage. Takes out another siege tank, and before finally getting cleaned up. Orbital command on fire getting repaired now by Temujin. That siege tank is finishing that wall, and that's very nice siege tank placement. And he needs to repair this depot as well, but Temujin, I hate Zerg! Ah! And Xenomorph, TT. Why do you hate Zerg? I don't hate you, TT. So he did a bit of damage here to this hatchery. Flying back now with the dropship, and it's gonna do a bit of damage. Not sure how much though, but he's pulling. That's a lot. A lot of roaches. Baneling's rolling and taking out a couple of SCVs. Look at the unit count, but 44 SCVs, 56 drones. It's not too bad. Building SCVs 2 at a time, and the mules will even that up. But he's mined out in his main. He's depleted his natural a bit, but both players are mining out now. The natural isn't really mining for Xenomorph, and but the third is pretty saturated. And he's gonna run in here and kills a drone. You know, free damage, it's never bad. So go and drops down. Oh, roaches coming up. It's gonna shut that down. 36 roaches for Xenomorph. That is a lot of roaches. 65 drones and against 46 SCVs. Look at the food counts. Xenomorph ahead by about 30. And he's gonna clean up this drop. Oh, takes out an overlord. Xenomorph momentarily supply blocked, but we see 4 overlords on the way. Spire on the way, and just, you know, following this medevac. Yep. We're just gonna run under it. It's probably a good idea. Look at this, look at that. Oh, sidestepping, and gonna float his orbital over to the planetary, to the gold base, sieging up, taking this position. If he can get this up and running for a while, he might have a chance of coming back. Where's this siege tank? Oh. Did not know you can't put a siege tank back there. Oh well. Medevac's coming up. Just gonna siege up on the low ground. Dropping mules. You know, a lot of mules. Always a good idea for this Terran player. But the fact that this gold base is not a planetary fortress may come back to haunt him later on. But there's, you know, if you're behind, you don't take another normal base. You take the gold because, you know, you need to do something crazy to that. Taking out a lot of that's quite a bit of damage. He's severely supply blocked the Zerg player now. Good play from AKTemujin, and these roaches come up and clean this up. Loads up straight away.